Unveiling the encroaching shadows of anti-protest injunctions, a challenge to private lawmaking. In a bold and unprecedented move, Friends of the Earth, FO, is poised to challenge the legitimacy of anti-protest injunctions before the European Court of Human Rights. These opaque and far-reaching measures, employed by private companies and public authorities alike, have raised grave concerns over their potential to stifle peaceful protest and undermine fundamental democratic rights. Private lawmaking in the guise of public order. FO contends that anti-protest injunctions effectively empower private entities to create their own public order laws, circumventing the democratic process and encroaching upon the prerogatives of elected officials. These injunctions, known as persons unknown injunctions, target anonymous defendants, casting a wide net that ensnares individuals unaware of the order's existence. The consequences of breaching these injunctions are severe, eclipsing those imposed by the criminal justice system. Protesters face the prospect of imprisonment, asset seizures, and exorbitant costs. The chilling effect is palpable, as evidenced by the £25,000 fine levied against a protester opposed to the HS2 high-speed rail project. Corporate interests preempting environmental concerns. The proliferation of anti-protest injunctions has coincided with a crackdown on environmental activism in Britain and the introduction of stringent anti-protest legislation. Oil and gas companies, such as Ineos and Cuadrilla, have eagerly embraced these measures to shield their fracking operations from public scrutiny. These measures have gone under the radar, laments Katie DeCalway, a lawyer at FO. People don't realize how serious the issues are given the penalties for a breach are so severe. Unfair and disproportionate consequences. FO's challenge highlights the disproportionate impact of anti-protest injunctions on environmental activists. Fracking companies have increasingly resorted to these orders to suppress dissent when communities have exhausted other avenues of protest. Sentences for breaching injunctions often exceed those for equivalent criminal offenses, and the financial burden can be crushing. It's crazy that a private company can obtain a more severe sentence than the criminal justice system, DeCalway argues. With the climate crisis spiraling out of control, it's disturbing that both private companies and public authorities are putting so much effort into preventing people from sounding the alarm. International condemnation and domestic resistance. FO's action has garnered support from international organizations, including the UN Rapporteur on Environmental Defenders, who has condemned the widespread use of civil injunctions to quash peaceful protest. Within the United Kingdom, the wildlife trusts have expressed concern that nature reserve visitors might inadvertently violate HS2 imposed injunctions. In September 2019, 3 anti-fracking protesters, including Katrina Lawrie, were given suspended prison sentences for contempt of court after defying an injunction obtained by Cuadrilla. "We were shocked when told to expect a custodial sentence," Lawrie recalls. "If you are a rich company, you can buy your own justice system." The injunction had a chilling effect on people in the community who wanted to protest but were frightened of what would happen. Supreme Court ruling and ongoing concerns. The Court of Appeal reduced Lawrie's sentence to 4 weeks in 2020, acknowledging the importance of peaceful protest. However, a November 2023 Supreme Court ruling imposed constraints on injunctions targeting gypsy and traveler communities while leaving environmental protests unaffected. Since April 2022, FO has tallied 14 anti-protest injunctions related to environmental protests. This surge has prompted the organization to seek redress at the European Court of Human Rights, where it hopes to establish that these injunctions violate fundamental human rights and undermine democratic principles. The challenge to anti-protest injunctions is a pivotal moment in the battle for the right to dissent. It underscores the urgent need to safeguard this fundamental democratic right and to prevent the privatization of public order through the insidious use of opaque and oppressive legal measures.